Welcome, Riddell Sports Network. I am Dan, and no camera today. I'm shooting this from a different computer than we usually do, but hopefully it still comes through okay and everything. All right, so I was going to wait till Wednesday, our typical, Wednesday weekly show, but I'm an Eagles fan, and I couldn't wait. I'm here to talk about the Eagles and the 49ers. Eagles lose 23-19. What's the weird score about, you might ask? Well, Jake Elliott missed another extra point. I think it's about time, and I'll get into more what I think about this Eagles roster, but I think it's about time to let Jake Elliott go. It seems like almost every game, and this isn't anything new. People who don't watch the Eagles pretend it's something new. His rookie year in the Super Bowl, he missed an extra point. The Eagles won that game, and it didn't factor in. But the game, the score was weird. It was like 22-12 at half. The Patriots missed an extra point, missed a field goal. It was a whole thing. But we're acting like we're people who don't watch and they just watch the highlights, pretend like Jake Elliott has been like this masterful performer for 7 years until the last couple. That's not how it works. But I think it's so consistent that in these close games, the Eagles offense is so bad that you can't have a kicker who's not reliable. Now, did it matter at the end of the day? Not really. It ended up being like you would say, well, the Eagles would have had 20, so it would have been a field goal game. Yeah, but the Niners missed an extra point as well. Whatever. Jalen Hurts was terrible again. 20 of 35 for 168 yards and a touchdown. When they need it most. See, people who don't watch and just watch the highlights don't understand that Jalen Hurts is only good when everything is working perfectly. Did he look like a master in the Super Bowl last year? Yes, because everything was rolling up Eagles. But whenever anything, I try and argue this with people all the time. He's not a playmaker. He's just, everything has to be perfect for him to look good. And if it doesn't, then they look so bad. And I mean, what was it, 2 weeks ago against the Bills? 0 completions in the second half. They squeaked out that game. But Brock Purdy on the other side threw 2 picks, both to Quinyon Mitchell, who's an absolute stud. Hubert Agine was fantastic. The defensive line for the Eagles was fantastic. The 49ers lost George Kittle midway through this game and still won. So take that for what it's worth. Let's see, like some overall stats here. Time possession, all Philly. Even though they had much fewer drives, more plays, or not much fewer. They had 1 fewer drive, more plays, fewer yards. And if you compare, Brock Purdy is a system quarterback as well. When the 49ers need Brock Purdy, he's there. 18 of 31 for 262. He did throw 2 picks, but at least they're producing. And what would happen if you took Brock Purdy's skills and put him on the Eagles? Look at the weapons that Brock Purdy has. He had Christian McCaffrey. That's it. Jalen Hurts has Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, who, well, 2 of those incompletions by Jalen Hurts were A.J. Brown just dropping it. The Eagles had a 16-10 lead after 3 and gave up 13 in the fourth quarter to lose. So it didn't go well. They had 13 in the first half, and then they do what they always do. They can only, the whole year, they can only play one half. That's it. They can't put together 2 halves. Barkley actually looked good. They were getting him in space and actually doing some like little swing passes. He actually broke 100 yards on the ground. He looked pretty good. 3 catches for 25 yards, but they were trying some different things rather than just run up the middle and him getting hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage every time. That still did happen. But, and you look at this, the 49ers, where did this offense come from? Christian McCaffrey had 48 yards on the ground. And they still couldn't do anything. Some dude named Robinson had a $111, but A.J. Brown and Nick Sirianni got into it on the sidelines. Were arguing, whatever, but they were trying to make a big thing out of that. But the big thing out of it should be that A.J. Brown keeps dropping passes, especially in big moments. He just can't help himself. Now, we talk about this all the time on the podcast, but is now the time to trade A.J. Brown? His stock is at an all-time low right now. You trade him now? The only thing I could think is if you put him in maybe a second rounder and send him to Oakland or Las Vegas or Max Crosby. Like, what are they willing to? They're willing to part ways with Max Crosby. They being the Raiders. And they being the Raiders also want to draft a quarterback. Do you want A.J. Brown? Could be a toxic environment with a rookie quarterback. I don't know. It's just kind of a thought that I had, but I think that if it was me and I'm Howie Roseman, I'm cleaning house on that offense. Dallas Goedert's contract's coming up. He's probably not going to re-sign, but I think you get rid of Brown and you get rid of Hurts and restart this sucker. See what Tanner McKee can do for a year. Jalen Hurts can't do anything when we need him to do something. He can do stuff when, they're up, 31-0 in the Super Bowl. He throws that beautiful pass to Smith. But when he's needed, like, where is he? 168 yards. My goodness. But what's going to happen is they're going to run it back. They're just going to change the offensive coordinator, who does need to go. But does Sirianni need to go? Because if the offense entirely relies on who the offensive coordinator is the head coach as good as we're all pretending he is? You know what I mean? Like, the year that they fell apart, they had that, I can't even remember the guy's name, the offensive coordinator. But they went to the Super Bowl with Shane Steichen as the OC. He went to the Colts. Then that next year after the Super Bowl, when they were like 10-1 and lost the final 7 games or whatever it happened to be. Whoever that scrubby offensive coordinator was, then they bring in Kellen Moore and the offense looks unstoppable. And then he goes and he's head coach of the Saints, and now they can't do anything with this guy. So is the offensive coordinator more important than the quarterback and the head coach? In Philly, it is. So I don't know. It's really hard to watch. And I was watching this with yesterday. I was talking to them and said, I would rather lose to the 49ers today than go next week and lose to the Bears. Seriously. It's so embarrassing to lose to the Bears. I don't want to do that again. Already did that once this year. Anyways, I don't know. I think everyone's Super Bowl picks are still alive. Derek had Bills, Dave had Bills, and I had Rams. But I think Dave had the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Yeah, Dare had Bills over Rams. Dave had Bills over Eagles. I had Rams over Broncos. Ever. We'll see how it goes here. The playoffs have been pretty decent so far. I was really hoping the Jags would have pulled that out, but nevertheless. All right, I just wanted to come and do a quick recap and talk about I wasn't even, honestly, as diehard of an Eagles fan as I am, I wasn't even really mad. Oh, people were at you. All right, you're gonna, no, it's fine. Even that big a deal. I would have to be delusional. I would have to be a Cowboys fan to think they were winning the Bowl this year. But nevertheless, it was a hell of a run. Defending champs make it to the playoffs. It's hard to do. So Hopefully Kevin Patullo's gone, and Jake Elliott, you got to go get Justin Tucker. I mean, come on. Give him his massage table. It was funny during the game. They were pointing out that the tent blew over, the blue tent, and it's just a massage table. Get that ready for Justin Tucker. Bring him on the Eagles. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday with the normal podcast.